All right, welcome back. Here's our next part of our little practice. We're going to do 3 spheres, just like we would do shading, practicing shading with pencil or charcoal. We're going to do 3 spheres so we can learn how to get a little bit more control over water-soluble graphite because it really is spreadable. It really pulls far and away when you add water to it. So we have to learn how to control it really, really well. Now I have like some examples here because I was practicing on my own. And I wanted us to do 3 spheres because I feel like if we do one, that doesn't just give us enough practice. So depending on how long or short this takes me, I might be able to do 3 spheres in the entire video, but I'll at least do one, and you have to do 3 so that you get better practice and you get better and better as you go. Now, what you want to avoid doing though is going at this very quickly and just being like, okay, let me do a circle. And then I will dip my paintbrush in some water and this will spread around and it'll look like a sphere. Okay, because that's not really gonna happen. Okay, now I just have a really harsh outline circle with some random gray in the middle. This looks like a key ring or something. So yeah, this is not good. So we want to not do harsh lines because we damage the tooth of the paper if we do harsh lines. We really need to like build up our value kind of slowly like we would with a pencil. So when I'm thinking of that sphere, maybe I'll keep like some examples up here. There we go. Okay. So I really have to draw on this very lightly. And I do have to think ahead because knowing that the water-soluble graphite spreads, I kind of have to compensate for that. So when I go to start to add the shading in like I normally would with a sphere, I'm just remembering that that shading is going to spread, so I don't have to add so much of it. I have to remember that when I add the water, the graphite really darkens too. So that's why I'm going to like kind of work up slowly. So I'm going to start right there and then see how I like kind of do. There we go. That's good. See, it's spreading it around, it's darkening it. And then just like dip into my water brush again and get some clean water so I can start to spread the graphite out and for it to get a little bit lighter as I'm going. Just like we kind of noticed in here, as we're adding the water, it gets lighter as we go and we move across the page. So same thing here. If I want to be able to keep that nice bright highlight, I kind of have to protect the white of the page a little bit. So I can't just cover this whole thing with graphite. Otherwise it'll all look gray and we won't have that like transition from darker to lighter, from highlight to like shadow and core shadow and everything, okay? Now this is all good and well. If you want to make this more contrasty, then we can wait for this to dry and we can add more. I'll say water-soluble graphite is a very additive kind of process. That means I can add. It's doesn't do so well with subtractive methods. So subtractive is when you go to try and take something away like you would just a regular pencil. Okay, if I don't like something with that, I can subtract and I can erase. Water-soluble graphite doesn't work as well, especially after it's been watered down. I'll give you an example over here. This is already dry. And if I take a wet paper towel, I can lift a little bit of it off. But what happens is I start to damage the paper. I don't know if you could see that. Let me try and focus. Okay, start to see. You can feel it with your paper, definitely. Because it's cotton paper, it starts to shred a little bit, just like a piece of toilet paper or something. So you really got to be careful. If you're trying to subtract, like an erase with some wet paper towel or something, it doesn't work so well. I'm going to do a little cast shadow. Okay, just again, a little bit can go a long way, can really spread quickly. There we go. See how dark that got? Jeez. Okay, now try and lighten that up. I guess I could subtract while it's still a little wet like that. There we go. Okay, that's a little better. But really got to be careful with how dark this water-soluble graphite can get. Okay, I'm going to keep working. I might let this dry and add a little bit more graphite to it. I'm going to start another sphere so I can get some practice. Remember,